Good morning, namaste. Thank you for joining in and thank you for, contributing your energies because all of us have gone through so much. I was just talking to a friend in the morning and it was like 2023 is going to be like this, that. I said, yeah, but 22 has also been phenomenal. And I hear a lot of people, who are still carrying grudges. I mean, it's normal. We all do. I won't say grudges, but things which they're carrying that hurt, they're carrying certain things that have happened in 2022, they're carrying those pain bodies with them. So I thought that let's just, as much as we can in this beautiful group together here, as much as we can, um, nobody wants to hold on to them, but as much as we can, with the energy of the group, with the power of the words, let's try and understand and free ourselves from whatever we might be carrying, so that we enter the new year with a fresh start. And all we carry ahead is love and gratitude. And it is actually that love and gratitude which will make 2023 also phenomenal. Every year we hear ourselves saying that, we just didn't realize abhi to January tha and now it's December also. So we say all these things and it is like that. Time is flying. Life is just going by day. So let's use each day, each moment, each breath with love and gratitude. Whatever is meant to happen will happen. But through the energy, through whatever we are going to create today here, let's set an intention for ourselves to make welcome or walk into 2023 with our heads held high, whatever might have happened in the past, and receive it with that energy. Sorry, Vinita, I just took over. Please go ahead.
No, not at all. No, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. And as
Good morning.
has already put up the background to why we was wanting to look into this whole session as a preparedness to get into 2023 as a new calendar. Until and unless we change ourselves, nothing will change. Even if the dates of the calendar keep changing and we keep going from one year to the other. The other day, when we were discussing about the topic, and that's what Dee and I were talking, I said, we all go celebrate a New Year's Eve and get into the next year beginning without changing anything or without bringing anything new to our lives, new to our own self of absorbing life or as what we have observed a previous year. हम वैसे ही चलते जाते हैं. Until and unless we change, nothing really will change in ourselves. And let's accept that life is like a river. So river also flows across the mountains, across the boulders, and it has a path wherein there is an ups and downs. And I think that's how life is all about. And within the group, and when we have a spiritual mentor, that's what it talks all about, that how we can be like a river, accept and mold ourselves into the stream of life and keep flowing, keep moving ahead, accepting that, okay, life is happening and this is how it is going to happen, love, grief, anxiety, stress, but where is our center? The we really would like to know where is our center and how do we get centered. On and off, we are all hitting highs and lows.
Yeah.
But in 2023, I really want to get into this new year, leaving aside all the anxiety and fear. So it's like a trust. So it's all about what we trust in. We trust in the ways of life, or we get to something which is of high, the lower vibration. It's all up to us. Thank you, Zee.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Vinita. And two things like you mentioned when we talk about a river, let's remember that a river never turns back. It can change its course, but you never see that a river has turned back. A river always flows in one direction. So it just came to me that vision of a river when you said mountains and boulders. It just struck me that it could change its course when it's going, flowing through a very, say, rough terrain, but it will never go back. It will never turn back, isn't it? So that's something that we also need to understand and learn from here when you give the example of the river. And actually, I just read something today morning, also just a quote, which I thought maybe we could talk about in our one of our Sunday talks. It was that it's the same water which softens the potatoes and hardens the egg. isn't it? So it's the same water. So the external, don't keep waiting for the external thing, or don't keep blaming on the external situation. It's how we are. If we are hard from inside, we need to soften. If you're soft from inside, the situations are going to, make us harden. So it's really about what is inside than what is outside, isn't it? Maybe we can reflect, focus totally on that as we go ahead in the coming Sunday conversations. But to talk about, how we are going to walk into this coming year, leaving aside, and Vinita, when she said that, I just want to go into 2023, leaving everything behind or anxieties behind, we are still only on the 11th. So there are 20 days now in this month. We're not going to wait till the 31st of December and to say, okay, now I shut this and now I open this. Because it's only like, we were talking the other day, Vinita, and you mentioned it's only about a change in calendar. It's just like a change in a date. It's just like, most people, majority of the people just sleep through the 31st and they get up on 1st. It's like a new month. It's like a new year, isn't it? But we make it so big in that way, which is also a way to, set your intentions, or let go of things in the past, and, move into a new year with a positive way. And that's how we have set it, because we use this calendar. If you go according to the Hindu calendar, there's a different day. Some people say it's a new year on Vaisakhi, some say it's a new year on Diwali in terms of your accounts. And also that it's only a change of a number, it's only a change of one night to another morning. So it's not important. You can set your intentions today, right now. Don't even have to wait till 31st of December. But what will help us to set that going? What is going to help us to set us going is that in our hearts today, we have to understand that those challenges, that rough terrain, those boulders, those mountains that the river flows through will not stop there. If once you've crossed them, that does not mean that you will not encounter them ahead, isn't it? Even if it is a flat terrain, it could be some, rough patches, some ups and downs. So those things will keep coming as and when, as you flow through your life, those things will keep coming. But you have to just understand and, at that point, learn to hold yourself. Like you said, where is the center? The center is in the center. The center is in the center, isn't it? When we say the word center, it's not just a locational center. It's this energy within us, right? It's right here at the heart center. Some people say your soul rests in your third eye or in your navel or above, but it's just how our mind wants to be convinced. Center is a point, a space where we just are in the present. In the present. Now, why I also took up this topic was because I know a couple of people who are on this group and, fully respecting what they've gone through in 2022. For some, it has been very challenging. You lose your dear ones, you lose elderlies in your family, or unexpected losses happen, which really throws a lot of people off guard. And they feel, oh my God, this happened. It just marks that year as something just ended. And then their life also ends there. Their life also ends there. But the fact is that you have to understand that this too is a part of life. And you will feel the emotions. Please feel all the emotions, whether it is sadness or grief at the loss of a loved one, or it is any kind of a challenge that you might have gone through in terms of your health, or any kind of a breakup or betrayal or rejection in relationships, or any kind of a financial loss, a career upheaval. Anything can be happening. These are the boulders, the mountains, the stream flows through, isn't it? So one doesn't have to take anything as a dead end. Nothing is a dead end in life. Even death is not a dead end in life. It is a new beginning. In the tarot we have, in the Rider-Waite tarot, we have a death card. And that it looks like a very devilish card, but it is actually telling you that it's new beginning. Why is it that we welcome a new child, but we, feel extremely sad, or we feel something has just ended at the death of somebody? We don't need to look at death and life like that. And I don't mean to say that, okay, we can just, enjoy and embrace, I would say even embrace death, because inevitably it's going to come for all of us, isn't it? And of course, we do feel that loss in our family, with our friends, whoever, moves on. But we also have to pick ourselves and understand that that person was meant to live for n number of years, and you were meant to share your relationship with him or her for that many years. Cherish that. Whom are you crying about? Whom are you putting your life at a dead end for? For the other person? No, the other person has moved on peacefully into a higher realm. We are only mourning basically for ourselves. And please don't take me wrong, I'm not really putting down anybody's loss or grief in any which way. But you have to learn to go through these losses, whether it is a physical loss of a person or any kind of a challenge in relationships and careers, or financial upheavals. You have to look at them as just a boulder which you have the ability to cross. It might hit you like the water hits against the boulder. It might hit you. It might create a lot of emotional and mental upheaval, which is okay. And you don't even have to be that saintly to think, I should not be feeling anything. Of course, you will be feeling everything. Please feel it fully. Please feel it fully. But don't carry it ahead with you. Don't get consumed in it to that level that it just stagnates your life. There will always be memories, but we can also create peaceful, joyous memories. If you look at anybody's life, you look at anybody's life, or any, let's not take the, the example of somebody's life. Let's just take, say, you've served in a particular organization, or you've had a relationship for, say, 20, 30, 40 years, and maybe it has ended very traumatically or dramatically. uh, aren't there more moments to cherish than moments to sort of complain about in that entire job that you served in, or the entire relationship that you were in for the last, say, 20 years? So why can we not pick up and cherish those positive moments rather than thinking of it as something negative, and then that creates the anxiety, the stress, the sadness, the pain? Try to shift your perspective into digging out those joyful, peaceful moments. And a lot of times people tell me that when we dig out those joyful, peaceful moments, it creates more pain bodies, because now you miss that more. Let's be realistic. It does happen, and all of us feel it. All of us feel it. But still, if you put your focus on that positive thing and you cherish that, for what you have received or what you have learned, how that relationship or that job or that career in your life has made you grow, and you cherish that, then you're really honoring life. You're really honoring life, isn't it? Because it is inevitable. What is inevitable. But when you pick it up, when you pick up and you cherish the joyful memories, even if you look at 2022, let's be more realistic in it. And of course, there must have been, times when you have been really down in the dumps. But if you look at the entire year and you pick up moments which you really felt happy about, or you really felt, joyous about, those are the memories we need to carry with us. That's the energy we need to carry ahead with us. And yes, those so-called low emotions or those pain bodies may also be lingering somewhere along with you. You also take them ahead, but you don't make them your base. You don't keep going back to 2022 thinking of the tragic or whatever, incident that happened. Look at that as just an event in 2022 as anything else. Let's not make it, let's not go ahead with that, with that fear or with that anxiety that only comes in when you think of those kind of struggles that you went through in that year. And then you say, I don't want this to be repeated next year. It will not be repeated if you don't carry it ahead. But if you carry it with you in some ways, it is definitely going to manifest in some way. You have that power within you, and the choice is always yours, isn't it? Let's hear
This is
from.
so profound now that you said that if we don't carry it within ourselves into our entire body system, it will leave. The other day I was hearing, even the karmas are also related to that. If you just thought and you keep thinking about, then it becomes a karma even without you getting into the action. But yeah, if we keep it closed in our hearts, I guess it's so profound.
Hmm.
Never think
And
about
a
this.
lot of times we carry guilt, particularly in relationships. We carry guilt because we feel that, if we are joyous after, say, the loss of a relationship, and I don't mean just the death of a person, but when you walk out of a relationship, or, you've moved on in a relationship in some ways, you carry a lot of guilt because the so-called conditioning and the social norm is that you should be sad, you should be grieving, you should be down in the dumps. That's not really true. We have to break through these conditioned ways of being. And again, you don't have to push yourself to do things which you're not feeling like doing. But once you just get it in your head in a way that, okay, just be in a neutral space, just take things as they are coming. Why can we not just accept things on the face of it as they are coming? Why do we have to attach stories to them? Why do we have to attach the past to them? That past creates kind of a worry. The future creates kind of an anxiety because you're always relating the future to the past, that, oh, this happened in the past, it may happen again. Then you are attracting that energy. It happened in the past, it happened, isn't it? Every day is a new day. Every person brings in a new energy. So move ahead, only just build in yourself only love and gratitude for every moment. We are in this gratitude circle, and it's like when you get up in the morning, even our master Muji Baba, whom we follow, he just keeps saying that every morning, just keep walking and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everything. Thank you to your bed, thank you to your, to the morning sun, to the flowers, to the bright, day that is there in front of you, everything. And you just see that you start living in that space of abundance and gratitude. Those are the vibrations that we need to walk into with 2023. And that's what you will attract. That's what you will attract. More opportunities to be thankful for. When will you be thankful? When there is so much abundance in your life. So if we walk into it with gratitude, in spite of whatever challenges many of us are facing, a lot of us are going through bodily, there are physical ailments that we are struggling. Many of us are struggling financially, many of us are struggling in terms of our relationships. It's all fine. But there is still something that you can be thankful for in that relationship, in that job, in that financial insecurity. And that's what we need to focus on, and that's what we need to enhance. And that major event or that major situation that you have felt in this year, let's just talk just about this year, that you have felt that, okay, this was such a big jolt in this particular year for me. Look at that also with gratitude. Because we know that it is only when you are pushed against something that you pick yourself up and you break out of it and you walk ahead. And you always walk ahead one step, having moved one vibration up. Isn't it? Make sense? Yes, no.
Wow. With all everything. Thank you so
We
much.
just have to live with this, Sulakshana.
Oh,
We just have to live
absolutely.
with this. And like, yeah. And the more we just speak about it or we hear about it, it's a reinforcement for each one of us, isn't it? The moment something challenging happens, we just fall down into that space. But we have to shift and make this, at least this neutral space, our default mode. And then slowly we'll start operating from the positive, isn't it? That's what we
Ab-
need to understand. It's only a boulder, it's only a little rough terrain, and we'll cross over it. It's just like how we apply brakes when there's a speed breaker. We slow down our speed and then we gently cross over. If we don't slow down, we bump over it, but we still cross over, isn't it? And then we learn, okay, so next speed breaker, let's just learn to apply the brakes maybe 2 seconds before or 5 seconds before, whatever. So these things are also like that. Just slow down. Life is just asking you at this moment to slow down and gently pass over this little bump. And before you know, you're again back on your, on your highway or speeding along life the way you're meant to.
So correct.
I'd like to ask something.
Yes.
Sorry, that's Nishya. Hi.
Yes, Shreya.
I totally agree with what you're saying, and I'm definitely going to try and apply this in my daily life. But what happens when the person who you're facing this issue with is not on the same page as you? How do you? That's the biggest problem for me personally, where I feel like, okay, fine, I'm trying to implement this, but the person on the other side with whom I'm having this issue, how do I communicate it to that person that he or she also needs to do the same thing so that together we can move forward?
So you're only responsible for yourself, Shreya. Let's understand. And really, thank you for joining in, because I know and I'm aware of all the challenges that you are going through, and so much that you have on your plate right now. So drop
Yes.
that need now. For now, just focus on yourself.
Okay.
Just focus on yourself, on being in a positive. And believe me, if like you're here in this group, okay, as many as we are today, if we are all positive, invariably that is so infectious that it'll enter into your energy system, isn't it? Everybody wants to be peaceful, joyous, happy, loving in gratitude, isn't it?
Yes.
For some reason, their ego, and since you're new to this group, for some reason, their ego does not allow them to be happy, because they're so caught up in this need to control their life and allow it to, or make it happen in a particular way.
Mm.
Isn't it? That's the reason that they are not able to be peaceful and happy, because they want life to go in a particular way, and life is not going in that way,
Yeah.
right? But the thing is that life will only go in the way that it's meant to go. You have to change your course.
Mm.
That boulder will not move. If your river is flowing and the boulder comes, it'll hit against it, then it'll have to make its way through. Now, the river says that the boulder should crash and flow along with me. It may not.
Right.
Isn't it? You'll have to slightly change your course so that you can flow along smoothly. And I don't mean that one needs to walk out of relationships or give up things that they are doing. You need to be in that positive energy, in that high vibration, where you can gently change your course in spite of whatever is going on in your environment, in your home, in your job, wherever it is that the challenges are there. You need to be in acceptance and in peace. And it is so infectious. Believe me, it is so infectious. Invariably, the person will sort of match up to that vibration, and if they don't, that's their journey. But
Right.
you cannot be miserable thinking that when he she they will change, then I will be able to be peaceful.
Mm.
And I know it's very challenging. It's easier said than done. Oh, many of us here on the group have been hearing these things, and that's why we keep repeating them, because they've all gone through had the same kind of questions that you are saying right now. That how can I have this in my house? I am okay to raise my vibrations and be peaceful. But if people around me or the situation around me doesn't change and it keeps pulling me down, what to do? I want them also to be at that so that we can move ahead. Obviously, we all want that and we would pray for that. But supposing it's not happening, would I choose to be miserable just because the other people around me, or my work setup or my house setup is not changing? I cannot afford to do that, because you have to honor your life. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it is just about you and yourself. And believe me, it is so infectious. It just flows, and you cannot avoid it. If you're sitting in a room where everybody is laughing and one person is
Mm.
happy, very soon the person will either jump into that group and laugh, or if his or her ego are so strong, they'll probably leave the room and go. Isn't it?
True.
Right? But that does not mean that if you want to laugh, your ego will only stop you, that no, I'm caught in this rut. I can't laugh with my friends because my situation at home, or my financial situation, or my job situation doesn't allow me to do that. There's so much tension there. Let it be. Let what is. Enjoy the now. Be here now and be in the present. As you're in the present, you will see that you will be able to be in joy and gratitude,
Yes.
and allow yourself to soften from inside. Just don't let that ego become so powerful. The other people whom you're wanting to change are not able to see this, because they're caught up in the mind.
Mm.
We here are talking in these like-minded groups because we want to grow out of the mind, because it's only making us more miserable.
True.
So if I say, okay, it's tough, but okay, I have the strength, and let me just do this much, peacefully rather than wanting to do this much with everybody. Let me just do my bit of making myself peaceful, and you will see how it will flow into everybody else. Nobody can escape it. You'll feel it. Even in this group, we are not doing any healing. We're not doing any kind of a modality. We're only talking and sort of sharing those positive vibrations. This too will leave you feeling, giving you a high, isn't it?
I'm sure.
The
I'm
more you
sure.
create it, the more it'll spread to you and to people around you. Like you look at a small child, you scold the child, or the child wants something, they'll just get angry at you. They'll just get angry at you because they want it right now. They'll cry, shout, scream, and before you know, they've done with it and they've moved on. And they're playing joyously. At night, if you ask, the child that, you were crying in the morning, you were throwing a tantrum, and you said, I hate you, the child will say, what is she talking about? Because the child has dealt with that emotion there and then. She howled, you were not giving her the chocolate. She said, I hate you, because she wanted the chocolate and she was feeling the energy of hate at that time. She expressed it, went through it fully, and went on to the next. She didn't carry it ahead, but we carry it ahead. He said this, she said this. But if we also process our emotions there and then, we understand that whatever is happening is not personally happening to me. It is just something that is happening. And then I just move on to the next thing, wherever I am, being there fully in the present. I will not carry that pain body with me ahead. But if I don't deal with it at that time, and I hold on to it and I don't process that fully, then I will definitely carry it. And that's exactly what we are saying, that so much may have happened in 2022 for many of us. For most of us, in different ways, some things must have happened. But do I want to carry those pain bodies, those grudges, that grief, that sadness into the next year? No. So if there's any residue, let's deal with it now. Let's process it. Let's breathe through it, or let's kind of, cut cords with it, do our forgiveness, and set the intent to move into 2023 with fresh energy only of love and gratitude. When will we carry love? When we are feeling love, when we feel that, yeah, there is love in my life, and that will happen by giving love. Whatever you wish to receive, you need to give. If my cup is only full of anger, I can only give anger. If my cup is only full of coffee, I can only serve coffee to others. So if I am full of anger, I will only give out anger. If I am full of love, I will only give out love. If I am full of gratitude, I will only share gratitude and receive more gratitude in my life. So let me walk ahead with that love and gratitude. And yes, if holding on to those things gives you joy, it will only give joy to the ego. It cannot give joy to the heart. So when you look at those things and you say, okay, now whatever happened, happened, but I don't want to carry it ahead. Even if you say it as an intent in your head, don't think of writing New Year resolutions and all that. I mean, if you write, wonderful. But just in your head, set an intention that, God, I don't want to carry this ahead. I just want 2023 should be just full of love and gratitude. You will see situations coming in your life only full of that. And for any reason, if you slip down into a phase of anxiety or stress or pain, you'll be reminded in some way. Do you really want to be in this low vibration? And, till the time we keep thinking of situations and people around us to change for us to be happy, we will not be able to grow. So the first thing, and this has been a lesson for all of us. This is a lesson for all of us. The first thing we have to affirm and say and believe in is that, okay, I am responsible only for my life, for myself, for my happiness, for my, it's my choice to be happy. But if I choose to wait for others, situations and things and people to change, then sorry, you'll waste this lifetime too. And I don't want anybody here to waste a single breath, leave about a lifetime. Affirm from today that I'm only, even if you're feeling angry, even if you're feeling upset, even if you're feeling any kind of, say hate, jealousy, feel it fully. Feel the emotion, feel it, then let go of it, cut cords with that person and move on. Nobody can hold you at ransom just because some situation has happened and that's destroying your peace of mind. Don't keep waiting for the other person to come and apologize or speak or make you understand what happened. It is only going to create further misunderstandings, because then, along with whatever might have happened, now there's another layer added to it where you're feeling I'm not being understood by this person, or I'm trying to just do this for the well-being of the family or the organization. Just stop all that. Just work on healing yourself. You be that pillar of light in your home. And you cannot stop that light from spreading. And the only person that you can work on is you and nobody else. That is something which anybody and everybody can help you with. And most of all, you.
Wow, that's so beautifully put. I literally have tears in my eyes just hearing you.
Because this is the truth and it touches your core, because you are that love from inside, like all of us, isn't it?
Yes.
So why do the tears come? The tears come because there is a deep resonance with what I'm saying. And there is a knowing within you that this is the truth, that this is who I am. I'm not this ego person who's just wanting things around to this thing. I want to be that core of love that I am. Isn't it?
Yes.
That's why it touches your heart. And you are right there. Just then suddenly life takes over, situations take over, and you get so caught in that. All of us do. I'm not saying this, pointing this personally to you. That's the moment you need to take that pause. And as Vinita said, step back. Okay, this is happening. The turmoil is outside, but I don't need to be going along with that turmoil. I need to be in my center. Let the turmoil happen all around. Let me watch. Let me not get caught in that turmoil. The problem happens because we become part of that whole thing, isn't it? Then the churning happens, then the anxiety happens, then the stress happens, then it comes into the body in some way, isn't it? So that's where you need to step back and say, okay, there's a tornado outside, but I have a place to go back to retreat to inside my heart. And as much as you might be needing, thinking that I need to go out and solve this, at that moment you cannot solve it. At that moment you need to retreat back into your home, into your core. Even if a part of you says that, oh, you're being a coward by stepping back, it's okay. You just need to first be in that center and then approach. You cannot move from the center. Everything is happening around. You will be in the center. Otherwise, you will also be going around in this and there'll be no solution. Stay here and then address whatever you need to address. And you will see how well things will be addressed from that core. And even if you need to be, say, angry, or you need to say something to somebody, say it from a space, from a distance, and hear yourself saying what you're saying. If you're caught in that story and you're consumed by that whole situation, then there'll be no solution to it. Step back, watch yourself, and then say what you want to say. Then you'll be heard.
Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
So many nuggets flowing. I want my entire board to be filled with these nuggets all the time. But Chef, I can really add something bit very personal to what Sujata said, that the only thing and the person that we can change to begin with, is us, and then later see how the entire energy is shifting of the house or the office or the space, and that first step is very difficult. It seems like, how can I do it? But once we drop that ego and get into that surrender, it is absolutely possible, and go each day at a time. I mean, otherwise, don't get one gets to get overwhelmed about how it's
Right.
going to happen. But just take every little step and pat your back. I did it well today. It's like a sense of gratitude as well as appreciation for self. And the
Yes.
journey, of course, with our mentor just slips on, so beautifully. It's so smooth then.
And believe me, all of us, each one of us on this group have gone through these things or are still going
Correct.
through these things at this time or at some other time in our lives. 100%, I can say it. And we still do. It's not that we don't. We still slip into that, but we know how that we can pick ourselves up. We don't have to beat ourselves up for falling into a unconscious kind of a sort of a rut at any time. You don't have to beat yourself up. You have to be most loving to yourself to get that love from people around you,
Correct.
right? So you have to say to yourself that, okay, so I've fallen. Like how you tell a child, you were learning to walk, You've fallen down. Come on, get up, you can walk. And the child gets up and walks. But if we slip down one day, we beat ourselves so much, we get into depression, we shut ourselves out because we feel like a failure. I always quote this. I think most of my talks have this quote that when a child is learning to walk 200 times in a day, they fall. But they get up and they move on. Before you know, they're walking, they're running, they're like, all over the place. So when you so-called fall, don't take it as a failure. Just look at it as, okay, so I've slipped down, but I can pick myself and walk. And we all have that ability. The universe has our back. God is always there with us. If we fall, we just have to reach out. We just have to reach out to anything, to a mentor, to God, to the universe, to a friend, to a parent, to a partner, and say, okay, I'm not able to pull myself up. Please help me. And you will see how that help comes. But that yes has to be inside. If you say, oh, I've fallen, what will they think about me? I won't be able to get up. Then nothing can help you. Then you'll just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into that whirlpool. And then it'll become so difficult for you to pull yourself out, or for anybody else also to pull yourself out. But the moment you say in your heart, okay, I'm seeing, I'm falling, I'm drowning, and we all do it. A lot of times I feel a particular emotion. I feel, oh, I'm just not able to get a grasp on my mind today. Let me meditate, I do something. Then if not, I'll reach out to a mentor. I'll reach out to a teacher and say, okay, can you just support me today? I'm not feeling that I can do it myself. But I'm in that space of awareness. And everybody on this group, I can say, there have been times when they have reached out either to somebody or to me or to, some teacher or master or to a friend, where they say, help me out of this. And when we seek help, we are not seeking help from somebody who will make us feel even more victimized. If there's been an event in your life and you're feeling, oh, this person said something to me, or she betrayed me, or he put me down, or he rejected me, the other person is not going to add to your wounds. They're not going to sympathize. They'll give you an empathetic ear. They'll hear what you're saying. But a genuine friend, a genuine mentor, a genuine teacher will say, okay, so this happened. That's not good. But you have to pick yourself out of it. The other person may not realize that they have said something which has hurt you so badly, or maybe it was not even their intention, or maybe it was also. But what can we do about it? That's the other person's story. The fact is, it has hit me. I'm feeling very hurt. I'm feeling down in the dumps. I'm feeling rejected. I'm feeling betrayed. So now what? So what will a teacher say? What will a mentor say? Okay, so let me support you. You want to cry, feel the emotion, cry it out and grow out of it. Don't let yourself slip into this again and again. And don't wait for the other person's attitude to change. Pray that, yes, it changes, but free your energy out of this whole thing right now, this incident. Free your energy. How do you free your energy? Most of you here know. Do some cutting and connecting cords with that person. Do some forgiveness for this whole situation. Simple things, they take you all of 1 minute, 2 minutes, and before you know, you're out of it. Otherwise, it grips you like that, and then you are caught in that prison and you feel there's no way out. I have to wait for this other person to understand, to be, apologizing, to sit with me, to talk with me, to give me a justification. Okay, if that's meant to happen, it'll happen. But 1%, if it is not going to happen, then what? Will you keep staying in this prison till, waiting for the other person, maybe in some lifetime to come? The other person may be enjoying themselves wherever they are, or they may have even moved on, but you are holding on to that pain so strongly. So free yourself up there and then. And reach out to somebody who will empower you from that situation. Always remember, this is something which I always enforce. Any challenge that comes in your life, use it to empower you rather than to put you down. If you use that same opportunity to empower you, you will see how you will arise from that situation as a new person, really emerging out beautifully. And that does not mean in any which way to, either put down that situation or to overlook that situation, but don't hold it in your heart in a way that, okay, this negative thing in my life, there's nothing as negative. You can make that negative into positive. It's your mindset. Whatever you tell your mind, that is what will begin to happen. Okay, this happened. Now let me see how I can not allow such a thing to happen again. Not that thing. The thing is not important. What was the emotion that was attached to that thing that put you down so much? I felt hurt. Now let me not get caught in this hurt again. Before you know, the situation will be, it's just at that moment, the situation is so big. Before you know, the situation will be behind you. It's the pain body of hurt or rejection or whatever the emotion is that will reoccur in a different way if you do not deal with it there and then. If there's a discord in a relationship and a person says that, my partner is making me angry and I will not be able to be at peace till he stops making me angry. So you've given the total control to that person to make you angry. He presses a button or she presses a button and you get angry. Take that remote control back, please. Nobody has that power. Your peace and your joy is totally in your hands. Make those affirmations. And then you will see that nobody will be able to press that trigger because the remote control is in your hands. So take onus of your life, take responsibility for whatever you're feeling and choose to grow out of it. Choose to empower yourself from the situation. And don't set such targets which are not easy to accomplish because then you beat yourself up. So many of us do that. I have to achieve this. Now you've set that parameter for yourself. I have to do this. And if you're not able to do it, nobody else is judging you, but only you are judging yourself. And the moment you start judging yourself because you made a list of 10 things and realistically you could only do 2, you say, I'm a failure because I haven't done the rest 8. And then the world will also point fingers at you telling you that you're a failure. So set realistic goals and say, okay, like Vinita said, we've accomplished 2. Let's pat ourselves and be more realistic. So make our goals, make whatever we want to achieve more realistic. That doesn't make you less ambitious in any which way. It's just being more practical and real in life and growing from that. Isn't it? And whatever simple steps you take, each step is an accomplishment. Pat yourself with love. Give yourself that love and that appreciation for having done simple things. Don't wait till you reach the top of the mountain to think that, yeah, now I've accomplished something. Every mile, every kilometer, every step that you take is an accomplishment, leading you to that. But if you say, oh, there's so much ahead, of course there's so much ahead. It'll keep adding. It's like you're always on a treadmill. You'll never stop. But if you say, done a little bit, now stop, pause, pat yourself, then restart, then take the next step, then take the next step, and keep ticking off in your head that, yeah, wow, today I did 10, today I did 20, today I did, and just keep moving with that. We sometimes make it so big that it becomes impossible to achieve. And then we beat ourselves up. We feel like failures. And that's when the stress, the anxiety, the restlessness comes in. Let's do little, but let's do it with love. Let's take small steps, but let's make them whole. Let's do them with love and gratitude. So break it up, break up whatever you want to do into simple steps and move from there. It's not difficult, it's easier in fact, and it will not put you behind in the race. It will not put you behind anywhere. So just affirm that anything that you're going to do, you will do with love. You will do with gratitude, even if you don't like doing what you're doing. You have to do it, isn't it? I mean, you are going to be doing it. So do it with love and gratitude rather than do it with complaints and, grudges. The moment you shift that act and say, okay, thank you, now I have to do this. Thank you, God, for giving me the strength to do it. Or, okay, let me just come into my heart space and do this with a little more compassion. Immediately that softening will happen inside you. And then you will see how much you will actually enjoy doing that task. But if it's in your head, oh my God, this has to be done and I hate doing it, I just don't like to do this and I have to do this, then the same task will be, the efforts that you need to put in will be multiplied, or at least they'll feel so as if it's so strenuous. Efforts will be the same, but they'll just weigh you down so much. all this weight, when we say you're carrying so much baggage, there's no physical weight, but there's baggage along with it, isn't it? And if you just say the same thing with the more, say, a positive or a peaceful attitude, that same task, that same job will be done with much more, with greater ease. And there'll be no heavy boulders on your shoulders. Yeah, does it make sense?
Yes, very much so.
Good, good, good. Very good. Please share anything you feel you want to.
Sujata, I
Yes,
have a question.
Auntie. Yes.
Sometimes it so happens that, like you just said, reach out to somebody who's your mentor or somebody to ease out the turmoil you're going through. But supposing it is somebody who you really look up to and has been the cause of some kind of a pain which has hurt you, how does one control that?
Well, you have to see again now, if that person, understand, if that person has hurt you, that means that that person is only holding hurt. If you've looked up to that person and for some reason that person has hurt you or has sort of, betrayed your trust in some way, that means that that person himself or herself at this moment is not in a good space, isn't it? That is one thing. And the second thing is that sometimes it's like how you scold your children. Your children look up to you for certain things. But if you know that this is not good for that person or for that child, you will scold that child, or you may even feel that you need to, be a little harsh to that child, scold that child, or punish in some way, or withdraw love in some way. Then understand that this is something which is happening for you to grow. Again, your focus is outside. That person betrayed me or did not live up to my things or hurt me or whatever it might be, isn't it? But the fact is that you got hurt because you had certain expectations from that person. I'm not saying it's wrong, right? I'm not saying it's wrong. But now this is the situation that universe or God has presented in front of you. Telling you, for me, I would say, telling you that you have been looking up to this person, but you also have the same kind of power, and that person also has that same kind of an ability to hurt you. They are not God. I mean, they're also people, isn't it? They also have their emotions. And for some reason, either you understand that at that moment, the person is going through something and he or she has said or done something to put you down, or that it is for you to understand that, everybody goes through that. You put people on pedestals and teachers and masters, they too feel the same way, isn't it? Or if it is a person with whom or someone whom you have been looking up to, understand that you and that person, there is no separation. If you are going through something, sometimes ups and downs, they are also going through their own stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that you have got hurt or you have got upset, that means that, it is for you to understand that you don't need to take this personally. It is
Well, maybe the other person is at that time also having some kind of turmoil within, which has come out on your, hit you. I mean, that you were you were the outlet where you could bump it off, kind of a
Absolutely.
thing.
But you also have to understand that that does not mean that you don't look up to that person. The person has a lot of positive qualities. That's why you've been looking up to her all your life. And now for some one incident, which may
You can't bring it down. Yeah.
You can't put it down. You can't dishonor that whole relationship.
Yeah. He or she is going through some friction within also. Yeah.
And
Fair
again,
enough.
that is a situation for you to grow. The universe is putting it in your hand, or you have to be the person that that person can look up to and not fall down because of this. Right? You have to have your own power. She pressed you, or she threw a trigger which hurt you, or he did something which hurt you and you fell down. No, that means pick yourself up. Nobody can do that. Just because you've been looking up to, they don't have the power to put you down. In fact, if you've been put down, I don't believe that it is the person. I don't believe it is the person whom you've been looking up to. It is the universe sending you that message. Pick yourself up. You have the power to pick yourself up. Don't be dependent or attached to anything or anybody to that level. Get your own strength back. And it's really not about the other person. We have to stop personalizing that she has attacked me or he has betrayed me. or she has put me down. It is not about, it is the universe sending a message to you that, come on, pick yourself up. You have the ability. Nobody can hurt you to that level till you don't allow yourself to fall down into that. You have not been valuing your own strength. Find your strength within. It's only a situation, it's only an event, it's just something that somebody has said. How does it go so deep into you that it throws you back? There's so much more to life than just this one thing. Shift your focus, immediately shift your focus.
It's tough sometimes.
It is tough, but then just pause at that moment, breathe, gather your strength. You don't have to overcome it instantly. You're not God. You're not,
Yeah.
right? But just at that moment, hold yourself, hang in there, and just know that it's passing. But the ego becomes so powerful at that time that how could she say this? I've always worshipped her. I've always, honored them. I've always done so much for them. That's when the ego comes in. And now they're doing this. I mean, there are 100 things that they've done to put you to be worshipped at that level. So can we just look at that and come into a space of compassion? And do your forgiveness. Agar wo nahi ho raha, at that moment, just cut cords with them. Connect at the heart. They too need love. That's why they've poured out anger, isn't it? They're feeling full of anger and send them love. That's your empowerment. That's your empowerment. Send them love at that time. Be compassionate to them. And if you can't do it physically, a lot of times our ego does not allow us to go to that person and say something. In your heart, cut cords with them. Send them love. Do your Ho'oponopono prayer to ask, seek forgiveness. Isn't it? And then you'll see that your energy will shift, and so will the energy of the other person. And you may at that moment feel he has to apologize, she has to come and say, but you'll see very soon that you will not need that apology. And then the other person may even come and apologize and say, oh gosh, I don't know what happened to me that day. I just, poured it all down to you.
Yeah, actually, sometimes you become the boxing bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you do. But you don't have to take it personally.
Yeah.
He is just throwing out his anger. She is just throwing out her hurt. But it is not to you. Again, I give that very, very, I mean, I don't like giving this example, but there are dogs barking on the street and you feel, oh, they're barking at me. They're not barking at you till you feel. When you feel, oh, that dog is barking at me, then the dog will look at you. Otherwise, the dog is not interested in you. But we feel that threat within ourselves, isn't it? And I don't mean to say this in any wrong way, but we feel that threat. I'm not saying that the people outside are just saying what they're saying or they're barking. I don't mean that at all. But till the time we've seen this example, where if you see so many dogs on the street and you feel, oh my God, this dog is going to attack me. The dog is not interested in attacking you, but because you get full of fear and you send out that vibration of fear, you see that dog approaching you. Otherwise, you will just walk through. If you're on your mobile, you'll just walk through. You won't even see that there are dogs sitting there. It's only when we send out that fear vibration that it becomes real for us.
Yeah, fair enough.
And personalization. Always don't think that she's saying it to me. She is just saying it. Even if they take your name and they address it directly to you, it is only because you are in that periphery right now. If you don't believe it, and if you don't believe that, what they are saying, it should not hurt you. It's only your expectation. We really have to grow out of that. We really have to grow out of that. They are just doing what they are doing. They're not saying, you don't have to feel that personal attack at all. So cut out the me. Yes, Vani.
Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. Yes, Vani. Vani, did you raise your hand? Ritika, were you saying something? Bambi.
Thank you, Suju. I just wanted to share over here, resonating with so much of every word that you're saying this past week has brought a beautiful opportunity for me also, with a very close relationship to rise up from this. When somebody is not in your same vibration, and not to separate the male ego from female ego, but sometimes male ego is a little harder for them to soften. So just something that was pressing on my mind last week, which I'd shared with Rohini, and she said something so beautiful that when somebody is, in this situation with not the same vibration as you, and is taking things too personally, if you're able to recognize that and be aware of, okay, this person is coming from some turmoil within themselves, like Ramila auntie also said that, they must be going through their own thing inside. So not to take it personally, but how do you manage, just making sure that the feelings don't become negative, especially when it's such a close relationship. So she said something which was so beautiful. I'd like to share. It felt like a golden key to unlock at any time. She said that whenever you're in a situation like this, you can always ask from love, what can I do to bring love back to this? What can I
Absolutely.
do to bring love back to this?
So
And
beautiful.
suddenly inside me, it just
Expand.
something felt so open, and that oh God, now I have to talk about it. Now I have to address it. Just what to say, what not to say, right way to say it. Then I realized that this is such a beautiful thing to say, and of course with that acceptance that um, I'm responsible for what I say, not how the other person takes it. If I'm coming from a place in my heart, then it's if they can receive it from there, that's fine. If not, then maybe at some other later stage, if it's meant to be. So
Absolutely. So beautiful.
that, just wanted
See,
to
that's
share
the
that.
whole shift from the mind to the heart, isn't it? It's like really coming from a space of love and compassion versus coming from the mind. Like you're saying, it's just the moment you say that, how can I bring love into this whole situation? It expands you, it puts you already on a high vibration, that vibration of love. So it's just so beautiful. And sometimes, people may not know how to do this, especially on this group, because it's a different group. So do any of that. Even in the Ho'oponopono prayer, we say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, because you're bringing in that healing energy of love. And so organically things shift. And then you say gratitude. So that's what we are going to carry with us and, live with. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Bambi. And we know
Thank
how
you.
many of these golden keys Rohini gives so many of us. And I mean, so much we share with in this group. So always gratitude to her.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank,
sharing that. Thank you
thank you.
so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi, Bambi.
Sujata. Sorry, I couldn't unmute my phone at that given point of time. Some issue with the settings. So I think, a lot of questions do get answered by someone else also. So, just to add to this only, I wanted to ask, sometimes when you're communicating with, especially with the loved ones or people you care about, and if they've hurt you in the past or there's some misunderstanding or something, you are always communicating with a lot of ego. Like, normal what's if I'm like, sending a chat also, I'm so like prepared, you want to see कि वो पता नहीं कैसे respond करेगा, and you're so judgmental about the reply because probably you're looking for a validation from the other person or probably analyzing the other person. And we are doing a lot of this with people whom we are close to. We don't do it
True.
with people whom we don't care about.
Yeah.
So in fact, I was
Yeah, it's
feeling that,
because we have more,
something like,
yeah, because we have more expectations in close relationships, no? Because it's understood that he or she is like they're bound to be, they should be, or they owe this, or we do this. But it's not a barter system at all. And we feel hurt more there because there are expectations, and it's okay. I mean, it's okay to understand that these get built in a normal course of life. But if it is not happening for some reason, that does not mean that you can totally in any which way allow yourself to not value that relationship. Does that make sense?
yeah, but then it gets very difficult to, train your mind
Because
to
you're
do that.
personalizing it, because you're personalizing it, that he or she is doing it to me and I have done so much, or I am so and so's sister, brother, wife, whatever, and they should not be. These are the conditioned ways of thinking. But it is now again for everything I feel, and this has been my journey, and I know so many of you who can really resonate with it. It is not that person giving you that message, it is the universe sending you that situation for you to grow out of it and stop this personalization. And like Bambi said, very early on in my journey, I used to ask Rohini, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And I had so many whys in my mind, because I would say that only if I get an answer to this why, I'll be able to be at peace with this situation. But the whys kept changing. Like some people tell me I'm really feeling an upheaval, and I would say, okay, so it's because of the full moon. Then 5 days later, 6 days later, the full moon has gone, but you're again feeling an upheaval. So now it's because somebody said something to you. So there is no answer to that why. So just drop that need to know why. And then we say, why is this happening to me? And the end is to me. It is not happening to me. It is just happening. If we cut out the me, we cut out the why, what remains? This is happening. And we just come totally into the presence, accepting the situation the way it is, without any need to know what is creating it, dropping the past and dropping that personalization to me. What remains? This is happening. That's the fact. That's what we need to move ahead from. And the moment we stop, it is not that person hurting you or the close one hurting you, or somebody whom you have expected that this person should be cordial to me or should be serving me just because we have a particular relationship or a particular role that we are playing in this lifetime. Understand, it is only a role. That's a setup that the universe has created for you to grow. And that's why most of us feel hurt with our close ones, because it's taken for granted. It's expectations. This is how it is meant to be. But it is not that person hurting you. It is the universe telling you that it's only a role that that person is playing in your life for you to grow. Drop that personalization and see how vast life is and how there is so much more to life. And then again, like, operate, come to this heart space, move with love in that relationship, because that is your core. It doesn't matter if you have loved that person from your heart, just hold that love. Even if he or she at that moment is doing something which is not serving you, step away, but don't give up on, don't drop that love from your heart, because that person is hurting and most needs love at that time. Just what Bambi said, that golden key. How can I bring love into this situation? Because for 10 years, 30 years, 20 years, we've always been loving to each other. Now, this 1, 2, 3 situation is creating harshness. How can I still hold on to that love? Because that is our core, and that is what we need to continue being in spite of the harsh situations outside. If the river stops flowing, I'm going full circle now. If the river stops flowing because it's going on hitting against a boulder, will it ever be able to go ahead? It should actually just stop there. But that's not how nature is. If the roots are growing into, and there are big stones there, the root will find its way here, there, because there is no mind, there is no ego there. That is how nature is. Just make your way through whatever is happening in life. Keep going. Don't let these small things hold you back. Just keep growing and nurturing, and like how Mother Earth grows and holds all of us. So enough for today, but let's understand that from this moment onwards, we only have to be living from a space of love and gratitude. Let's try and pray. Let's pray all the time that we're able to open our heart center, and in any situation, come into it from a space of love. And like Bambi said, use that golden key. Use that golden key to open that heart center. Next week, we'll continue talking on how we can, keep going and growing with love and gratitude. And maybe we'll do a little meditation or a little process to come into the heart space. I'll guide you into that process to come into the heart space and operate from love in every situation as much as we can. We're humans, we slip down, let's understand, but we can still be operating from that space of love. So thank you.
Thank you, Sujata.
What
Thank
a
you.
profound session.
Thank you.